Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's newsletter. In recent years, many of our staff and students have visited the community of Manya in rural Uganda. And 3 years ago, I had the privilege of spending a week there with some colleagues. We visited schools which are largely dependent on financial support from Australia, and these included the St Joseph's Secondary Vocational School in Kenseka, which relies almost solely on the generosity of our community at St Joseph's Geelong to continue operating. The history of our involvement in Uganda dates back to 2007, when the college community made a substantial contribution to the establishment of a primary school in Kenseka, a small area many kilometres away from Manya. This school now thrives, having been adopted by the Geelong-based Cotton On Foundation, which supports 17 primary schools and one secondary school in the region. They also support some other initiatives in the health sector there. In this part of Uganda, about 70% of all households survive on less than $3 US per week, so less than about $5 Australian. HIV/AIDS has wreaked havoc on the adult population, meaning that many households are headed by children due to the death of adults. And the most common form of work available, and then usually irregularly, is farm labour, and that barely brings in enough income to feed a family, much less educate children, and that is assuming there are adults in the family. The traditional extended family system amongst Africans, whereby relatives care for orphans, has been weakened, and so the result is many children are left to fend for basic needs like food, shelter, and clothing, and education. Most children in this area are doomed to poverty, with education the only possible circuit breaker. St Joseph's Kenseka is the only secondary school in a 24-kilometre radius, and many children who attend the school have to walk extraordinary distances morning and night to get to school. The circumstances of many students are heartbreaking, and the work of the school is inspiring. Those young people who want to and who can attend school need either very low or no fees, and they also need to be provided with basic requirements like pencils and paper and food at lunchtime, for some of whom it is their only meal for the day. Those young people who experience success in their schooling in Uganda have vastly different lives to those who don't. While I was on leave at that time, I also visited Ireland and went to the first two schools that were started by Edmund Rice about 2 centuries prior. The similarities between 19th century Ireland and 21st century Uganda were really striking. They include parental unemployment, low life expectancy, limited vocational options, child exploitation, starvation and malnutrition, and of course large families and a commitment to Catholicism. So 2 centuries ago, Edmund Rice recognised the desperate need of Ireland's youth and responded by providing them with education. We recognise the desperate need of Uganda's youth, and because of our Edmund Rice traditions, along with our Christian obligation and our basic humanity, we must respond. And our way of responding is to try to provide these young people with an education. Earlier this week, our student leadership group launched Edmund Rice Day at a full school assembly. Their goal is that we raise $50,000 on Edmund Rice Day on April 30. In order for this to happen, each student in the school needs to commit to donating $30 or each family $50. The reality is stark. If we do, students in Kenseka will eat every day and be educated. If we don't, then they won't, and they remain impoverished and all that that means for the remainder of their lives. We have the opportunity to make an incredible difference with a level of generosity that for most of us will not have a significant effect on our lives here. Prior to the COVID travel bans, a group of Year 12 students were travelling to Manya after their exams, much more in keeping with our commitment to social justice and solidarity than partying on the Gold Coast. We intend to visit again in 2022, and it will be a great joy to see what we have made possible for the people of Kenseka. Please support our leaders by ensuring that your son donates on Edmund Rice Day. During COVID lockdown, students and staff had the opportunity to develop a range of skills through remote learning. We're currently investigating a number of options whereby some students, senior students, in some subjects may choose the option of undertaking some classes remotely. While there are many challenges to this, not least the logistics, we think that this option has the potential to enrich the skills of our students and provide them with some of the life skills we know that they'll need in their post-secondary studies or their working lives. Remote learning also offers the opportunity for continuity of learning during periods of school disruption. This year, from May 3 to 5, our Year 12 students are undertaking their annual renewals off-site. For this 3-day period, Year 10 and 11 students will undertake their lessons remotely. They'll be delivered online in a mixture of real-time and anytime learning, the same as during the periods of shutdown that we've experienced. We're confident that this will assist students consolidate their remote learning practices, and you'll be provided with further details regarding expectations and role marking and the like during this period by letter shortly. At this time, there seems to be a nasty gastro illness circulating in the community, and we've had quite a number of boys arrive at school quite ill. Obviously, in a school environment, this carries the risk of rapid transmission to a large number of other people. So please, if your son is not well, whether it's with COVID or gastro or symptoms of some other illness, please keep him home until he's recovered. A reminder that teachers are providing detail of work to be completed in each class or all their classes on class notices or OneNote. So while he's away, he's able to keep up with schoolwork until such time as he's well enough to return to school. Stay well and God bless.